Good evening. I am Mara Ruff, President of the Decalogue Society of Lawyers. Thank you for joining us tonight and welcome to Decalogue's 2021 Virtual Awards Ceremony. I would like to extend a sincere congratulations to this evening's awardees and take a moment to recognize Justice Michael Hyman, Allison Sloven, Pastor Chris Harris, Sinai Chicago, Charles Krugel, Judge Jerry Rosenberg, and Sarah LaPearl. You are all tremendous leaders, advocates, mentors, and colleagues, and so deserving of your recognition this evening. Your commitment to your communities, your purpose and passions are unwavering. You'll hear more about each of our awardees later in the program, and we are thrilled and honored to have Governor J.B. Pritzker as our keynote speaker. I also want to extend our gratitude to all of our 40 sponsors who made this evening possible, to Judge Megan Goldish and Joel Bruckman for all of your hard work, and last but not least, to Decalogue's Executive Director, Aviva Pat, who works endless hours to make sure our events and society run smoothly. I hope we can all be together soon in person. Despite our new normal of hybrid work environments and connecting virtually, Decalogue kicked off this bar year stronger than ever. We have continued to support and partner with our fellow Ethnic Bar Association colleagues. This summer, we held a joint event with the Cook County Bar Association at the Illinois Holocaust Museum, hearing from John Davis, the first journalist to interview Nelson Mandela after his release from prison in 1990. In early September, we held our 8th annual Building Bridges Award in partnership with the Arab American Bar Association. And in late September, Decalogue gathered in the Sukkah, breaking bread with our new friends at the Israeli American Bar Association. Additionally, our Anti-Semitism Committee hosted a virtual viewing of the documentary Lesson Plan, followed by a presentation by extremism disengagement consultant Jeff Shoup, followed by a group discussion of the threat of fascism in the US and how we can fight it. Our Social Action Committee partnered with Ma'ut Khatim to deliver food boxes to seniors before the high holidays. And not to mention the interesting CLEs we have on deck that include how to run for judge in Cook County and the Decalogue Foundation's Using the Law to Fight Anti-Semitism CLE program. I am fortunate to work with such dedicated and talented individuals across our entire membership to make all of this possible. And kudos to all the committee chairs and board of managers for your continued leadership. It has been quite the year so far, and we are just getting started. I invite you all to visit our website to learn more about our upcoming programs and events. Now, without further ado, let's get this evening started. I now turn it over to Barry Goldberg, Judge Mitch Goldberg, and Pastor Chris Harris for our opening anthems. Thank you and enjoy the program.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
For all of our friends who love Israel the same exact way that I do, I sing this song in your honor.
Wow, thank you so much, Pastor Harris and the Bright Star Ensemble. And thank you to the two Drew crew of the Goldberg twins. That was really beautiful. Welcome, everyone, Jews, non-Jews, Jew adjacents, or adjacents, if you will. Thank you for joining President Mara Ruff and Decalogue here tonight. We are so privileged to be honoring really well-deserving awardees who have continually tried to improve the world and better our communities. We are just so proud to recognize these esteemed honorees: Sarah LaPearl, Charles Krugel, Sinai Chicago, Judge Jerry Rosenberg, and Justice Michael Hyman. And you just heard from one of our wonderful awardees, Pastor Harris, with that beautiful version of Hatikva. And in retrospect, I guess it's a good thing that Decalogue declined my offer of a 2-hour beat poet version of Hatikva. At any rate, Pastor Harris is really a humanitarian who sets an example that we should all follow. But what you may not know about him is he has an absolutely infectious laugh. Infectious in a good way, not in a COVID way. And it's like a gift to earn a laugh from him, because his laughter can be heard over everyone. And I know that he's very generous in spirit, that sometimes he's laughing at jokes that are just not that funny. And so let's hope for my sake tonight that the rest of you follow his example. You will also be hearing about Allison Pure Slovan from the Simon Wiesenthal Center. Allison is so special. She's like a Jewish Mother Teresa. She is Ema Allison, or Bubby Allison. Now, among her many impressive qualifications is that she is an elected trustee of the village of Skokie. She has insisted that this does not give me unfettered permission to speed down Dempster and then drop her name if I get pulled over. So if I do get pulled over, and please feel free to do the same, I'll do what I always do. Good evening, officer. My name is Marty Maltz. And with that, let's hear from Allison Pure Slovan. I am thrilled to present the Community Service Award to Allison Pure Slovan. This award recognizes Allison's continuous work to fight against hatred, racism, anti-Semitism, and intolerance. Allison embodies the spirit of one who seeks tikkun olam, or to repair the world, and through her philanthropic endeavors, she is making the world a better place. Allison is the Midwest director of the Simon Wiesenthal Center. This is an international United Nations accredited human rights NGO, fighting against all forms of hate and bigotry. Its namesake, Simon Wiesenthal, was a Holocaust survivor who dedicated his life to apprehending those who had committed hate crimes and bringing them to justice. Under Allison's leadership, the center's Midwest division has created educational partnerships and opportunities for hundreds of thousands of students, community leaders, and business professionals on the topics of hate, racism, and anti-Semitism. Further, based on the Wiesenthal Center's preeminent Museum of Tolerance in Los Angeles, Illinois is the first state to design and implement the Mobile Museum of Tolerance, a state-of-the-art retrofitted museum on wheels. This museum is so fantastic. There is not another museum like this one. The Mobile Museum travels throughout Illinois to educate students, business professionals, and law enforcement agents on the ramifications and impact of hate and how to build a better and more equitable tomorrow. In addition, Allison is an elected trustee for the village of Skokie, serves on the Iraqi Christian Relief Council, and served on the State of Illinois Holocaust and Genocide Commission. She was the first and only female president of the Standard Club, one of the longest surviving social, philanthropic, and Jewish cultured clubs in America. In addition to this award tonight, Allison was awarded the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans Matze Award, presented to her for her contributions in the world of public affairs, and the Shamrim Society of Illinois, an organization of first responders of the Jewish faith, awarded Allison and the Simon Wiesenthal Center for their civic leadership. Allison, thank you for all that you do. You are a friend, a mentor, a leader, and an example we should all follow. You are a force against hate. We are so proud to present you with the Community Service Award. Congratulations.
Esteemed Governor Pritzker, Decalogue Society of Lawyer members, and friends, It is an honor to accept the Decalogue Society of Lawyers Community Service Award alongside this evening's other award recipients. The award I am honored to receive this evening is recognition of my collective work to fight against hatred, racism, anti-Semitism, and intolerance, which is the core mission of the organization I am honored to represent, the Simon Wiesenthal Center. The Decalogue Society of Lawyers, whose core mission is to maintain vigilance against discriminatory public and private practices, particularly anti-Semitism, aligns with the mission of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, which was founded more than 40 years ago. The center is named for the famous Holocaust survivor and Nazi hunter Simon Wiesenthal, a man who dedicated his life until his dying day in pursuit of the perpetrators of the Holocaust, which was one of the greatest crimes against humanity. Mr. Wiesenthal believed in justice, not vengeance. The Wiesenthal Center is an international Jewish human rights organization which stands up against discrimination, hatred, and terrorism, and fights for the human rights and dignity for all people. The world requires that extra effort to move the needle forward on the promotion of tolerance and acceptance. We need to educate students on the lessons of the civil rights movement, modern-day genocides, and other instances of grave injustice. The acts of hate and dehumanization of the Holocaust are not isolated to the 1930s and 1940s. They exist today in different forms through racism, bullying, homophobia, the delegitimization of the State of Israel, and the rise in anti-Semitic attacks. The recent rash of anti-Semitic attacks confirms that the hatred of the Jews has gone mainstream in the political culture and social fabric on both sides of the Atlantic. American Jewry, which makes up a mere 2% of the population, but astoundingly, 58% of all reported hate crimes in the U.S. target American Jews. Although it is important for us to learn and speak out against acts of hate, we must work to eliminate hate as a norm. Dialogue on issues such as discrimination, hate, anti-Semitism, racism, gender identification, and bullying in a safe environment is critical if we're going to move students and communities from dialogue to action and help us realize our own responsibility in making a positive difference in the world. Which is why we should be proud that Illinois is the first state in the U.S. to have the Simon Wiesenthal Center's Mobile Museum of Tolerance, which brings world-class learning experiences to communities across the state of Illinois. The purpose of the Mobile Museum of Tolerance is to inspire people of all ages and backgrounds, empowering them to raise their voices and combat anti-Semitism, bullying, racism, hate, and intolerance, and to promote human dignity. The founder and dean of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, Rabbi Marvin Heyer, who inspires me every day, recently said, "The freedoms we enjoy are not granted in perpetuity, but must be reclaimed in each generation. As our ancestors have planted for us, so must we plant for others." He reminds us and future generations in our need to fight hate, promote tolerance, and be grateful for the freedom that this country bestows upon us. Tonight, I accept this award on behalf of the 6 million souls who were murdered by the Nazi regime, and in honor of those of you who further Mr. Wiesenthal's pursuit of justice. Thank you.
I'm so happy to introduce Pastor Chris Harris as he accepts the Gerald C. Bender Humanitarian Award. This is not an honor that's given out every year, but it's reserved for those whose excellence and dedication demonstrate commitment to strive for justice through service to the community. Such a person can truly be recognized as one who focuses on tikkun olam, which means repairing the world, and who recognizes that the cause of justice is humanity's job. Pastor Harris absolutely embodies the spirit of this award, and he has demonstrated a focus on tikkun olam. He is not just another pretty voice, my friends. Pastor Chris is the senior pastor at Bright Star Church. In 2009, due to increasing violence in Chicago, he established Bright Star Community Outreach. This is such a fantastic organization. It's committed to providing educational enrichment programs and anti-violence initiatives. It provides employment to more than 450 people and leads a collaborative of over 105 organizations in the greater Bronzeville community. Pastor Harris also travels the country building relationships between African American and Jewish clergy, and he's traveled to the Holy Land 6 times and led more than 70 leaders to Israel. On more than one occasion, while in Israel, Pastor Harris has sung the Hatikvah, even to the Prime Minister of Israel, and on top of Masada to groups of tourists and IDF soldiers. No word on if he climbed Masada or took the easy way up in a cable car. He has taught at colleges about the importance of Black-Jewish relations, and he has done extensive work with, and this is going to be Jewish alphabet soup, my favorite Jewish soup after matzo ball soup, with the JUF, ADL, APAC, JNF, AEPI, Sigma AEPI, USY, AJC, and SWC, Simon Wiesenthal Center. And, I love this, his personal motto for this very important bridge building work is "We are better together." Pastor Harris developed the Turn Center based on the Israeli model of Natal and Tel Aviv. Turn focuses on counseling, parenting, mentorship, workforce development, and advocacy. Its helpline has assisted hundreds, and Turn ambassadors have educated more than 45,000 residents so that they are trauma informed. During the pandemic, Bright Star Church helped vaccinate over 800 people and supported thousands of families with housing and food. Pastor Harris's strong dedication to the betterment of his community and his engaging personality certainly demonstrate his focus on Tikkun Olam. It is my absolute pleasure and honor to award my friend, Pastor Chris Harris, with the Gerald C. Bender Award. Thank you, Pastor Harris, for making this world a better place.
God bless you, my friends. Pastor Chris Harris here. I wanted to take a couple minutes to thank the Decalogue Society of Lawyers for this amazing honor of receiving the prestigious Honorable Judge Gerald C. Bender Humanitarian Award. What an amazing man and what a humbling honor. In 2013, I was blessed to receive the Decalogue's Community Service Award. And here we are again, almost a decade later. I want to particularly thank my good friend, my sister from another mister, Judge Megan Goldish, for nominating me. Over the past 9 years, we have developed major bridges to rebuild the relationship between the African American and Jewish community on college campuses, training Alpha Epsilon Pi and Sigma Alpha Epsilon Pi students how to build bridges between our communities and combat BDS. I have attended countless Shabbat dinners and have hosted many Shabbat barbecues. You are all welcome to those. I've been to Israel 6 times and have led 72 leaders there. We've built the playground together and now a trauma helpline based on the Israeli model of Natal, dealing with trauma in Chicago. And I now sit in a digital literacy center that a Jewish synagogue from the Orthodox community partnered with our church to build so that students can stay up on their scholastic achievement. Dr. King and Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, they marched together. Booker T. Washington and Julius Rosenwald worked together on education and housing. Now I ask each of you, what can lawyers, judges, and the Black community do together? Micah chapter 6, verse 8 says, "And what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God?" Dr. King said, "The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by bad people, but the silence of good people." I ask again, what more can we do? So please contact me and let's dream and build solutions together. And I always say, when it comes to the Black-Jewish relationship, we are better together. Thanks again, and God bless each of you.
It is my honor and privilege to present the Agency Award to Sinai Chicago. I cannot think of a more deserving awardee than Sinai. At its very core, Sinai exists to help the less fortunate and to provide care for all, regardless of insurance, ability to pay, or citizenship status. Originally built as a one-hospital system to care for Jewish immigrants, Mount Sinai Hospital has been an anchor for North Lawndale for over 100 years, caring for the well-being of its West Side communities through waves of prosperity and tumult. For decades, it has been one of the largest employers in the neighborhood while providing quality health care and hope to grossly underserved communities. Today, Sinai remains a community cornerstone dedicated to serving the most vulnerable on Chicago's west and southwest sides through healthcare, community service, research, and local economic development, and continues to stay true to its mission. Under the Sinai Chicago umbrella, Sinai serves over 26 communities with a service reach of 1.5 million people and includes 4 hospitals, 14 community clinics, a research institute, a community institute, and a medical group with over 300 specialties, as well as a level 1 trauma center and a level 3 NICU. Sinai also has been the medical home for refugees in the state of Illinois for over 50 years. In addition to providing much needed care to the community, Sinai also has a robust advocacy agenda, working to effect change in the law and to ensure Sinai is able to carry out its mission and continue to provide accessible and affordable health care. Sinai Chicago was the first health system to lobby for the expansion of Medicaid health coverage to undocumented seniors 65 and older. Sinai also led efforts to pass the state telehealth bill, allowing more equitable delivery of care to Sinai's patients. Just a few weeks ago, Sinai joined healthcare organizations across the country in a national call for action, asking Congress to support a pathway to citizenship for Dreamers, those eligible for temporary protected status, and essential workers. These are just some of the few advocacy items that Sinai champions. Sinai Chicago works tirelessly to close the inequity gaps in healthcare and strives to bring health justice to communities it serves. When COVID-19 hit, shining an even brighter light on the health disparities in Sinai's communities, Sinai Chicago stood up and showed up for its community during the pandemic, stretching scarce resources to make sure patients and community members had a place to get well and were cared for. I can go on and on about all the great work at Sinai Chicago. Sinai truly exemplifies the Jewish concept of tikkun olam and strives to repair a broken world one day at a time. Mazel tov to Sinai Chicago. It is my honor and privilege to introduce to you Karen Teitelbaum, President and CEO of Sinai Chicago, to accept this much-deserved award.
Hi, I'm Karen Teitelbaum, President and CEO of Sinai Chicago, and I want to say a deep thank you to the Decalogue Society of Lawyers for recognizing Sinai Chicago, and also Mazel tov to all of the other awardees this evening. I'm so honored to be sharing this virtual stage with all of you. I've been with Sinai Chicago for 15 years, and there isn't a day that goes by that I'm just not awestruck by the incredible dedication and commitment of our caregivers and the amazing work that they do each and every day. We know that the burden of COVID-19 fell disproportionately on the predominantly Black and Latinx residents served by Sinai on the west and southwest sides. And these are communities that had already faced widespread inequitable factors impacting health, such as economic distress, food insecurity, and underemployment. The communities served by Sinai were among the most highly impacted by COVID. Sinai Chicago responded quickly to address our community needs during COVID-19. We also coordinated the distribution of donated resources to our community. We delivered hundreds of boxes of food to hundreds of families. We helped distribute well over 1,000 masks to community residents. We created special COVID units at Schwab Rehabilitation Hospital to assist those patients recovering from long-haul symptoms. Our behavioral health department created a specialized COVID-19 unit so our patients could continue receiving inpatient therapy if impacted by the virus. We educated hundreds of community members on COVID-19 and the importance of vaccination. We launched vaccination clinics at our hospitals, community clinics, pop-up clinics, churches, schools, parking lots, and we also had a mobile vaccination clinic in partnership with the city. And to date, Sinai Chicago has provided more than 35,000 COVID-19 vaccinations since December of 2020. I guess for me, one of the most striking things is that our frontline staff and our leadership team work endless hours, and we continue to do so during this pandemic to make sure that we provide the highest quality of care and continue to meet the needs of our patients. And while all of the pandemic work was going on, our frontline caregivers did not stop treating the gunshot victims, opioid-related overdoses, and those suffering from other illnesses due to the plethora of chronic diseases that plague our communities. So with all that, let me say thank you again for tonight's award and recognition. It's really the caregivers at Sinai that are the true heroes, working tirelessly each day to make sure our community is cared for. And at the heart of Sinai's mission, we truly are trying to repair the world. Through our actions, we know that we too can help make the world a better place. Personally, I'm grateful to be a caregiver, and I'm most proud to accept this honor on behalf of my fellow caregivers at Sinai Chicago.
President Mara Ruff, Governor J.B. Pritzker, distinguished and worthy honorees, fellow members of the Decalogue Society and friends, good evening. I'm Robert W. Matanke, President of the Decalogue Foundation, the charitable arm of the Decalogue Society of Lawyers. It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to present this year's Decalogue Society of Lawyers Hebrew University of Jerusalem Fellowship Award honoree, Justice Michael B. Hyman. The grant of this year's fellowship has been given in Justice Hyman's honor. Justice Hyman was educated at Northwestern University, from which he earned his undergraduate degree from the Medill School of Journalism with honors and his JD from the law school. He was admitted to the Illinois Bar in 1977, immediately joined our society, served for 2 years as an assistant Illinois Attorney General in the Antitrust Division, and then joined the law firm of Much Schellest, where he practiced law until his appointment to the bench in 2006. He was elected to a county-wide seat in 2008, and while serving in the General Chancery Division, was appointed to the 1st Appellate District in 2013, where he continues to serve. He first became active in the Decalogue Society in the 1980s. He rose through the ranks and served as president from 2004 to 2005. Upon completing his term as president of our society, he was immediately elected to serve as president of the Chicago Bar Association from 2005 to 2006. Since 2011, he has served as president of the Jewish Judges Association of Illinois, and I regret that time constraints will not permit me to elaborate on all of the various committees and other organizations to which Justice Hyman has lent his skills and leadership abilities, including editor-in-chief of the CBA Record since 2007. But I will tell you that we were first introduced after I succeeded Elmer Gertz as editor-in-chief of the Decalogue Journal. Mike Hyman served on my editorial board, and I regret that I didn't act quickly enough to convince him to succeed me as editor-in-chief before he got involved with the CBA Record. Justice Hyman is most proud of his family, his wife Leslie, his children Dr. David Hyman and Rachel Thompson, their spouses, and his 5 grandchildren. He is proud to serve on the bench so that he can promote justice with mercy and his work to repair the world, one little good deed at a time. 2 things that you probably don't know about Mike Hyman are that before he started at Northwestern University, he had completed a degree in Jewish Studies at Gratz College in Philadelphia, and that his mother's father was our past president, Archie Cohn, the very first recipient of this special honor being bestowed this evening. A plaque to commemorate this honor has been delivered to Justice Hyman and reads as follows: presented by the Decalogue Foundation in honor of the Honorable Michael B. Hyman, to commemorate the granting of the Hebrew University Fellowship Award for the year 2020 to 2021 at the Law School of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem from the Fellowship and Endowment Fund established by the Decalogue Foundation. The advancement of learning is the highest commandment. October 21, 2021, Chicago, Illinois. Congratulations, Mike.
Bobby, thank you so much for those exceptionally kind words and for your friendship. And to you and the Foundation Board for this humbling recognition. That my grandfather also received it makes the honor all that more precious. And that's my grandfather's picture behind me. One of my grandfather's favorite stories was about a rabbi's garden. While away on an extended vacation, the rabbi's garden became an eyesore, full of weeds and dried up flowers. The rabbi's next door neighbor decided to pull out the weeds, plant new seeds, and keep the garden watered. Before long, it radiated beauty. The rabbi returned, and while viewing the varied colors of the flowers and inhaling their sweet fragrance, the neighbor appeared. The rabbi said, "Friend, isn't it wonderful what God and you were able to do with this garden?" And the neighbor replied, "Rabbi, you should have seen it before when God had it all alone." Well, God depends on us to make this world just, caring, and beautiful. As lawyers, we are called to pursue justice and to act with righteousness, to ensure our nation's promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and to eliminate the twin menaces of bigotry and intolerance. But in our community, our nation, and around the world, bigotry and intolerance remain rampant. Elie Wiesel said, "Even more than hatred, The peril threatening humankind is indifference, because there are more people who are indifferent than there are people who hate. Indifference to hatred is encouraging hatred and is justifying hatred. Indifference is evil. It lets bigotry and intolerance fester. So too cruelty, suffering, dehumanization, oppression, and injustices. So, like my grandfather, I have dedicated my legal career in doing all I can to bring about less ignorance and more acceptance, less pettiness and more understanding, less blame and more sympathy, less fear and more courage, less thinking about justice and more doing of justice, less partisanship and more partnership, less doubt and more trust, and an end to indifference. Above all, more love, healing, and peace. Thank you so much for this honor.
Congratulations again to the very deserving awardees this evening. We are so excited to have you with us and excited to have you here with us all. Hopefully we can be together again in person soon. I want to take a moment to recognize our longstanding members and invite those, if you are able to deal with the technology, come up here on the virtual stage and join us today so we can recognize our 25 and 50-year members that are with us here today. On behalf of Decalogue, I want to thank you for your commitment to your 25 and 50 years of service to Decalogue. It's members like you that lead by example and continue to contribute to our good work year after year. We have one 50-year member that we are honoring this evening, Michael Lurie. And the 25-year members of Decalogue are as follows: Nina Appel, Rodney Cope, Bradley Dworkin, Jeffrey Goldberg, Bruce Goodman, Jack Hertz, Marvin Levitt, Jeffrey Loving, Michael Rothstein, Stephen Salk, Judge James Shapiro, Barry Shepard, Daniel Schmickler, Stuart Stein, and Michael Wagner. Congratulations on your longstanding dedication and membership to the Decalogue Society.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Patrick Dankwa-John, Decalogue's immediate past president, and I will be presenting the Presidential Citation Award tonight. I'm sure we've all heard the saying that that by failing to plan, you are planning to fail. Indeed, wars are often not won on the battlefield, they're won in the general's tent. This year's recipient of the Presidential Citation, Chuck Krugel, has worked tirelessly to make sure that Decalogue will continue to be a bar association that is the envy of our peers. Even prior to the pandemic, many bar associations have seen membership decline over the years. As we began discussing how Decalogue can grow our membership, increase our value to current members, and raise more money, energetic discussions and several members stepped forward with a variety of great ideas, but leading the pack was our member, Chuck Krugel. He volunteered to do much of the heavy lifting needed for our strategic planning committee. And any of you who've ever volunteered for any organization, bar association or otherwise, knows that everyone's always got lots of good ideas, but when the time comes to get the work done, the workers are few. We lost a great American recently, General Colin Powell. One of his 13 rules of leadership is that perpetual optimism is a force multiplier. With Chuck actively engaged in our strategic planning committee, I'm optimistic that Decalogue's future remains bright. Chuck, thank you for all the hard work you've done on our strategic planning committee. You earned this presidential citation several times over. Congratulations.
Thank you, Patrick, and thanks to Decalogue Society. I also want to thank Mara Ruff and Aviva Pat for all your support and help. I wouldn't necessarily call this tirelessly, but I did the best I could. So thanks again, everybody, and thank you for co-honorees.
It's my pleasure to introduce the next two awardees, Sarah LaPearl and Judge Rosenberg. Sarah LaPearl, congratulations on the Law Student Award. Throughout law school, Sarah served as Vice President of the Decalogue Law Student Association and a student board member of the Decalogue Society of Lawyers. Sarah is passionate about Judaism and Israel. During her undergraduate education at the University of Michigan, she worked for the Jerusalem Post and was involved in many of the university's Jewish student organizations, hoping to spread awareness about Jewish history and informing students about current adversity that Jewish people face. In her role on campus and at the Post, her goal was to create a dialogue between students to share their own perspectives and experiences. Sarah recently graduated from Chicago Kent School of Law this past May and focused her legal studies on intellectual property and business law. During law school, one of Sarah's professors discovered her deep appreciation for art, language, literature, and culture. Some of her favorite pastimes are painting, drawing, sculpting, and clothes design, and Sarah developed a profound interest in art while studying in Madrid, Spain during her undergraduate studies. Sarah also speaks 3 languages, Spanish, Italian, and Hebrew. During her 3L year, upon her professor's recommendation, she interned at the Lawyers for Creative Arts and worked on a variety of legal matters, including drafting an assignment of interest for a filmmaker. Sarah recently passed the Illinois bar and hopes to soon be practicing intellectual property law. In the future, Sarah is eager to use her legal experience to support dialogue between law students and young lawyers and looks forward to furthering Decalogue's mission as an attorney. I want to thank you, Sarah, from all of us at Decalogue for representing us with grace and such passion during your time at Kent Law School. We wish you all the success as you start your legal career, and Mazel Tov on graduation, the bar, and all of your accomplishments. Mazel Tov on receiving Decalogue's Law Student Award.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm honored to receive this award, and I look forward to working with Decalogue for years to come.
Thank you. Next, I would like to honor Judge Jerry Rosenberg with the Inter-Society Award. Jerry Rosenberg is an associate judge in Cook County. She is currently assigned to a civil call at the Domestic Violence Courthouse, where she hears orders of protection and stalking cases. Before coming to the Domestic Violence Division, she was assigned to the Traffic Division, where she heard traffic cases in the 1st Municipal District. Immediately prior to taking the bench, Judge Rosenberg was a chief attorney for the Chicago Transit Authority. She worked in the Torts Division at the CTA Law Department for nearly 18 years, where she litigated personal injury cases, including catastrophic injuries and wrongful death cases. Judge Rosenberg received the Illinois Jury Verdict Reporter's Trial Lawyer of Excellence Award in 2014 and the Top Women Lawyers in Leadership Award from the Women's Bar Association of Illinois in 2016. She is a board member of Decalogue Society and was editor-in-chief for Decalogue's biannual publication, The Tablets, for the past 3 years. Judge Rosenberg has volunteered her time mentoring the generations of attorneys through several organizations. She has participated in the Women's Bar Association of Illinois' L2L mentoring program, as well as the Diversity Scholarship Foundation's First Generation Mentorship Program. She has also volunteered as a member of Women Everywhere Partners in Service Education Day, which brings Chicago Public School high school girls into the courtrooms. The program also provides scholarships for college to these students. In July 2021, Judge Rosenberg was a guest lecturer at DePaul Law School's pretrial class Behind the Bench. In September 2021, Judge Rosenberg volunteered her time as one of the 4 Cook County judges who married 50 couples on the Magnificent Mile and the event Meet Me on the Mile, Weddings at Wrigley, celebrating Wrigley's centennial. Judge Rosenberg is a graduate of Chicago Kent College of Law and the University of Illinois. I want to personally thank Judge Rosenberg for her partnership and all of the hard work as editor-in-chief of the Tablets. It was not an easy task. We are grateful for your dedication and commitment to Decalogue and ensuring we published the best version of the Tablets. Mazel Tov on receiving the well-deserved Inter-Society Award.
Thank you so much, Decalogue Society, for this award. It has been an absolute pleasure and honor to serve as the editor-in-chief of the Tablets. And I'm particularly grateful for the personal and professional relationships I've developed with as being a member of the society. So thank you all so much. And thank you for having me here tonight.
It is my greatest honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Governor J.B. Pritzker. Governor Pritzker was sworn in as the 43rd governor of the state of Illinois on January 14, 2019, and is only one of 26 Jewish governors elected to office in our nation's history, and Illinois' third Jewish governor. Pritzker often attributes the teaching of his social justice-minded parents and his religious values as the foundation for his philanthropic and public service work. Before becoming governor, J.B. Pritzker has stood against hatred and bigotry throughout his entire career and has been a staunch advocate for righting historic wrongs and fighting discrimination. He was a key supporter of the Center on Wrongful Convictions at Northwestern University and served as chairman of the Illinois Human Rights Commission. As chairman, Governor Pritzker stood up for the rights of the disadvantaged, fighting for the victims of gender, racial, religious, and sexual orientation discrimination, and working to ensure people with disabilities have equal access to jobs and housing. Governor Pritzker also led the creation of the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center, a nationally recognized institution where more than 60,000 students and teachers learn to fight bigotry, hatred, and intolerance every year. During the pandemic, he was not afraid to publicly comment against the anti-Semitism he personally endured after issuing the mask mandate, regularly spoke out against the stark rise in anti-Asian violence throughout the state and nation, and signed the TEACH Act, making Illinois the first state to require Asian American history be taught in schools. Governor Pritzker also made certain that the Illinois Holocaust and Genocide Commission was fully staffed with 17 new appointees. During his tenure, Governor Pritzker has championed several justice-minded related legislation and policies, such as expanding access to welcoming centers for immigrant and refugees, supporting criminal justice reform initiatives, including expungement of cannabis-related arrests, and signing a comprehensive Black Caucus criminal justice reform package, in addition to signing off on the other Black Caucus pillars on healthcare, economic development, and education, tackling climate change and environmental justice issues, investing in early childhood education and food insecurity, and not to mention leading the state through an unprecedented pandemic, bringing in federal resources to hold together and strengthen the social service safety net for those in need. Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Good evening. This is Governor J.B. Pritzker. I'd like to offer my congratulations to tonight's award winners, to every member of the Decalogue Society of Lawyers, and all of your community partners. Everyone here knows at their core the sanctity and the power of the law. As lawyers, you strive every day to plot the best path forward with a laser-like focus on justice and fairness, and I thank you for it. Those are also core values of our faith that each of us carries with us. I'm proud to be an attorney and one of only 26 Jewish governors in the history of our nation. We're also the state that has produced more Jewish governors than any other. I've long believed that to achieve our goal of a more just and fair world requires that each of you, and me included, must be both students and teachers, because education is the best way out of the challenges our nation currently faces. That means we're a bulwark in a fight against hate and bigotry. It's why I helped to build the Illinois Holocaust Museum. We have a long way to go, but I feel enormous pride living in and representing a state that was the first to ratify the 13th Amendment ending slavery, and the first to ratify the 19th Amendment granting women's suffrage. We elected the greatest U.S. president who held the nation together during the most divisive time in our history, and elected the first Black president who overcame centuries of racism and brought hope to so many. We have much work still to do, but I'm an optimist. I want to express my deep gratitude to the members of the Decalogue Society for your proud heritage of standing for justice and fairness. Together, I'm confident that we can become the state and the nation of our ideals.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to Governor Pritzker for his eloquent and engaging speech and his heartfelt sentiments. And my tax bill. Illinois is really lucky to have Governor Pritzker, in particular during the pandemic. He certainly demonstrated that he was a skilled and very capable leader. And what tremendously deserving recipients that we recognize tonight. Congrats again to Sinai Chicago, and thank you for all that you do. Mazel tov, felicitacion, and congratulations to Sarah LaPearl and to Chuck Krugel, for both of you for your well-deserved awards. And Judge Jerry Pinzer Rosenberg, your colleagues in domestic violence court are so proud of you. You are a true inspiration. You are a friend of Decalogue, and I personally treasure our friendship. But you should know that I have been going into your chambers and borrowing your shoes. And Justice Hyman, wow, he is an unbelievably talented writer and is a tremendous and intelligent jurist. Justice Hyman, you should also know that I've been going into your chambers and also borrowing your shoes. Please don't overturn me. Seriously though, Justice Hyman, thank you for being a role model and for always being so generous with your time, your friendship, and knowledge. It's true what Bob Matanke said, that you have so much community involvement that we could not possibly list all of your accomplishments. You are an exceptional person and a true mensch, and congratulations to you on your award. Congrats also to our 50-year member and our 25-year members. Thank you also for your steadfast support of Decalogue. Thank you again to all of our sponsors, and for Joel Bruckman for serving as a point person for sponsorship. We urge you, renew your membership or join our fabulous society if you have not yet become a member. Also, please go on our website. You can check out the great work and great lectures that are coming up and scholarships that are provided by the charitable arm of the Decalogue Foundation that Robert Matanke referred to. We are really grateful to all of you who have attended and for your support of the Decalogue. Decalogue really, it's justice, thou shalt pursue, and Decalogue definitely keeps striving for justice. We are thrilled to acknowledge those who contribute to the betterment of our community. And we are a Jewish organization, so we actually know the meaning and correct pronunciation of schmooze. So now we invite you to schmooze with us. Thank you again for your support. Good night from those of us at Decalogue, and please stay on and network. We'd love to hang out with you.